Hello everyone, I welcome you to yet another exciting episode of Media Voices on Prince Media Television. In today's episode of Media Voices, we are going to take a look at this whole issue of World AIDS Day. When you look at the background of HIV and AIDS in our country, it started way back. A lot of theories have been brought up. A lot of suggestions on how it started have been brought up. Some people say it was brought in by monkeys. Others say it originated in places like Masaka. But to our scientists that are out there, they are still trying to find the right information on how it started and how they can be able to fight it. As Uganda, we joined the world today to commemorate World AIDS Day, together with different countries in Africa, throughout the world, in North America, South America, Asia, China, and everywhere. A lot of strides and a lot of research have been invested into making sure we find a lasting solution to this whole issue of HIV in our different communities. In Uganda, a number of initiatives have been set up. A number of organizations have been set up. Many millions have been put aside to make sure that we fight this whole issue of AIDS within different individuals in the different communities in Uganda. Many initiatives have been brought up, like the presidential initiative of ending HIV by 2030, initiatives of test and treat, and many other initiatives have been put up in place to make sure we fight the increasing cases of HIV within our communities as a country. When we look at the issue of testing, it has been met with a number of challenges. Take, for instance, most of the facilities that we have in our country, Uganda, either private or public. Public meaning they are owned by government, and private, it's owned by the private sector. They have tried to do what they can as health facilities to make sure that we fight increasing cases of HIV in the different communities. You approach a facility, one of the facilities here in our country, and you want to know your HIV status as an individual, and you have to part with around 30,000, 40,000 to do testing in a health facility. If it is a government, they are telling you to pay 15 or 20. Paying such costs wouldn't be a problem, but how will this help to make sure we fight cases of HIV in our different communities? Such services should be made free. Let testing be free in most of these facilities, whether it is a government or whether it is private. Some government facilities tend out to claim that testing is for free. But when you approach there, away from the public eye and away from the cameras, some of these nurses and doctors tell you to part with something like 5,000 or 10,000. This amount of money may be small for some Ugandans, but it is a stumbling block for many Ugandans. Somebody will tell you, I cannot leave my family without them eating, and I go and test. As we celebrate World AIDS Day today, as we celebrate World AIDS Day as a country, we call upon government and other entities, let testing be for free of charge, whether it is a private facility or it is a public facility. That any Ugandan out there can just walk into a health facility, get tested, know their status, and make sure they get any help they need. For instance, when you approach some of these facilities, the IHKs, whichever facility, any private facility that you know is testing for HIV free of charge. You imagine a Ugandan working in a different sectors, and he or she earns 10,000 a day or 5,000 a day, and you tell him testing for HIV, he or she needs 15,000 or 10,000. Remember, he has a family to feed. Most of the Ugandans, they live hand to mouth. You do not expect me, who is earning 5,000 on a day, I have to feed my kids, I have to feed my wife, for me to take out that 5,000 and go to a health facility and test. These are some of the things as a government that they need to fight. Let testing in all public and private facilities be free of charge. Once this is put into place, it will encourage very many Ugandans to know their status. Because if you find a casual worker from Kisenyi or from anywhere, he or she walks into a high-end facility and specifically is going to know his status, his HIV status, it will push him to go. But when you put a cost, it will stop very many people. Let the government reduce taxes on the essentials that need to fight this disease. For instance, if it's the medicines, if it's the testing kits, let them come into the country tax-free to enable Ugandans who want to know their status, their HIV status, go purchase those, get those gadgets or those testing kits, and they're able to know their status as Ugandans. There are very little things that we can do as a country to make sure that we fight the increasing cases of HIV in the different communities that we live in. The little things we do will help make strides in making sure we reduce the numbers of HIV in the country. As we celebrate World AIDS Day today, I urge the government and all organizations that are out there that are involved in fighting HIV in the different communities in Uganda and the rest of the world. Let's make HIV testing free of charge for both in private facilities and public facilities. That's one. Two, let's remove taxes on the essentials that need to fight this disease. Things like taxes on condoms, things like taxes on testing kits. When we reduce taxes on such items, it will help us as a country to fight the increasing cases of HIV in our different communities that we live in. Thank you for all those that have been watching today's episode of Media Voices. I'm your host, Deogratias Saenyitwe. On Facebook, we are Prince TV. YouTube, we are Prince Media Television. And those that are on TikTok, we are Prince Media Television. Enjoy your week.